Okay. I'm live. Let me go get my iPad. You know what? I'm just going to stream it here. What the hell? Let's see. I'm live here. I'll turn down the volume. I'm live. Boom, 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 boom. Hit the thumbs up. I probably should see the chat. Let's see, live chat. There we go. Okay, I can see the live chat now over there. I'm live late because I took my car in this morning. And they gave me Uber credits, and I'm having anxiety. Morning, Zephin. I'm having anxiety because I charged the tip on my... Morning, Dawson, bro. I hope you guys are having fun. I don't know why I'm hearing... Why am I hearing an echo? God, what? Oof. I shouldn't be hearing an echo. Let's see. I don't know why I'm hearing an echo. Edit echo and reverb settings. That's off. That's off. So, okay. Track. Yep. It's all off. Good morning. Good morning. I don't know why I'm hearing an echo. Is it because I don't have the volume up loud? I don't know. I'm doing some scans. Boyle did. I got to pull up Active Trader Pro. Hey, since you four are here, before everybody gets on, am I selling too much? Outright question. I've been mocking people who are selling stuff. Got a message last night that I'm selling too hard. That I'm just as bad as the other people on YouTube because I'm selling TrendSpider. I don't actually sell TrendSpider, but I'm pushing TrendSpider and Fidelity, and that's why they're not listing. But I'd like your opinion on it. I listened back to the exact show. I didn't hear it. TSM is way up just because, I mean, they even brought down guidance, Q1 guidance, but they said things should be okay after that. So TSM was a right play. It exploded up. Oh, man. Hold on. I have to force quit. Force quit Active Trader Pro. I don't know why Active Trader Pro is acting so bad. Probably because I don't restart this computer at all. Now I'm dying to see where it's at. Let me just look real quick while I wait for Active Trader Pro to start back up. Oh, wow. It was tanking. I see Devon is up 2.5%. Cleveland Cliffs is up 3%. Oxy is up 2%. Qualcomm is up 1.22%. Simon Property Group up 1.22%. Taiwan Semi up 6%. XOM up 2%. I got that one in my list. I put it, if you look at the notes down below, James, I got it in my list. CPI was interesting, by the way. I don't know if anybody was watching. I was on my way to okay. And I know my dogs are going to ask to go out while I'm here too. But CPI was interesting in that it came out. And Disney, by the way, hopefully everybody got into Disney at 88. I think that one's just got, United Health down at 492. It's coming down again. I got in, I think, at 485. PC. Yeah, I don't have a PC. You guys are Let me turn on do not disturb. That's going to hurt people's ears. Okay, we're going over here. We're going to put in Boyle. I'm telling you, from a long-term perspective, if you want to just get up and get out of the way of Boyle and KOLD, Boyle has no confirmation whatsoever. Let me look at it today, though. 200-day has moved up. Yeah, there's a 2-day chart. That's unusual, though, because the past few days in the 2-day chart, it hasn't moved up. Wow, it's up 8.6%. Wow. James, I don't think you'll have the problem you're going to have with Disney is the debt. Norman Peltz was on this morning on CNBC, and that debt, he's pushing for a proxy seat. So compressed volume. Let me just make sure the compressor. Yeah, it's down. Compressor threshold. It sounded okay. You guys didn't answer my question. Am I selling too much? You guys need to be honest with me. If I'm selling too much, I'm being a douche. I'm gonna do some scans. Because we're still in the morning, so it should come up. Okay. Energy scans. This should come up big. $100 is not horrible for Disney. The problem you have with Disney is the debt. And I don't think operating margin 7.52, gross margin 34%, payout. I don't think it tells us debt here. Short interest 23.8 million. Shares outstanding 1.82 billion. It doesn't tell us debt. Down here it would tell us debt. Let me see. Cost of revenue 54 million. 54, yeah. Total revenue 82 million. Gross profit, interest, operating, net income. I think it would be in this total operating expense. I think it would be, but I'm not paying for that. Brent Woodford is the insider, August 12th. Nobody's sold, nobody's bought inside Disney. Nelson Peltz. I mean, this was a great interview. And by the way, for anybody who is long Zoom, CNBC isn't even paying for professional Zoom. They do all of their interviews via unpaid Zoom because it dinged them out. It dinged them out. But this interview was actually really good. I was listening to it in the car while I was hanging over, and nobody said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I love you. I love you. No. I'm going to have to let the dogs out. Whoop, whoop. Here are all the energy scans. Wow. T.O. Ugh. Do you have to go out? Okay, hold on. I'm going to be right back. I got to let the dogs out. Okay. Come on. We'll go outside. Put these shoes over here. Okay. Come on, Ben. I don't know why Ben's asking me to go out and you're not asking me to go out, baby. Don't ask me. I don't lock my damn front door enough. Show. Held for... I was not. My dogs were. I was not. We all do it, but I was not. Permian Basin, Pacific Rim, PBF, GPRK. I don't know any of these energy companies. How do we do on REI, by the way? Here's one that Tom likes, Arch. Scans. Arch. I just got back from the Tesla dealership. They're replacing my windshield. I took an Uber, and now, just for everyone's full disclosure, I am freaked out because I charged the tip. Tesla gives you a let me look at REI. Tesla gives you a Uber credit to get home, and I charged the tip on my work credit card. It didn't give me a, hey, let's pay with Apple Pay. Shit, why do you hate REI? It's up 3% today. It's a love-hate relationship, I take it. Let me look in Active Trader Pro. Let's look at REI. It just hasn't done nothing. Shit, this one's getting ready to explode, it almost looks like. I mean, here's the thing. It's holding on. In looking at the volume's going down. It's kind of holding its price here. The Bollinger Bands are cinching up. But you definitely have a... let's pull it back here. You definitely have a volume shelf that's building. We're going to pull it back here to the highs of June. And you do have a volume shelf that's kind of... It's right there. I mean, God, it's just hanging onto that volume shelf and can't seem to get out of its own way. But let's go to the strategy tester. Boom, 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 boom. 233, 238. It's just done nothing. Taiwan, did, anybody listen to me? Anybody listen to me at 74.29 when you're trading at 87 right now? And I said, it's below the 200-day. Why don't I listen to my freaking self? You know what I haven't listened to I did listen to myself on? I chased it. But I'm being rewarded somewhat. It's still got confirmation here. Mara. Our lovely Mara, but the RSI is at 67. I wouldn't buy into this. But it is interesting. Tesla's down 3%, and I'm paying $1,000 for a windshield. Cleveland Cliffs over 20. Wow. This one's just got crazy confirmation. Let's go over. This is Cleveland Cliffs on a 5-minute. And it got all the way up to 2050. Traded to $20.60 today. And it's up 4%. All materials are. Freeport McNamara. McMoran. I just say McNamara for some reason. Down 1.35. Oof. I'll talk about it, but there was somebody in the Facebook group who wanted me to talk about TQQQ. Okay, hold on. I'm going to hit mute. Hopefully you guys didn't hear that. I muted it. But they wanted me to talk about TQQQ, and I want to make sure everybody's aware. TQQQ is not an investment. This is a trading tool. If you want to invest, then your investment is QQQ, not 3. Because the difference between TQQQ and QQQ TQQQ trades options in order to triple lever it. So you don't actually own anything. It's a decaying asset. QQQ, they actually buy the actual assets, the NASDAQ 100. So you actually own a portion of the NASDAQ 100. Big difference there. Huge, huge difference. That should be very clear to folks who are investing. Let's go back to the scanner. We're going to go back up to brokerage holdings. This is my personal holdings. Nothing there. We'll go to the core investments group. Boom, 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 boom. Nothing there. We'll go to low-cost ETFs. Nothing there. We'll go to spider sectors. Nothing there. And it might be just because I'm doing this on the current candles, which, by the way, currently the Dow is up 0.47. I mean, it's just super, super flat. There's nothing kind of going on. So CPI didn't make everything pop off. But I do think that we have got a possibility of things popping off. Endeavor Group. That's an ugly chart. That's REI. Dow 30. There it is. Penny, you got your ears up. I can see you're getting ready. CVX. Wow. This really did cross up. Well, we're going to have to say it. We're going to have to say it. We're going to have to say it. That's the Dow 30. Let's go down to the NASDAQ. I love you. NASDAQ 100. Fiserv. That's an interesting one. Because could it go back? It's only 7%. I'm going to bring this up. SV. Fiserv. And then we'll scan. Bum, 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 bum. CVX was the only one. Everybody's here. Everybody's along for the ride. I don't know why there's only 3 people following now. 5 people following. It's weird, the number count. And then I look and I've got like 120 views by the end of the day kind of thing. Okay, let's go back to the strategy tester. I may want to. It's got a secondary cross up. Let's see. OIH. It's a good one for. Wah, wah, wah. I'll put this one in. It's pushing up there. Let me see. What's this 52-week range? To 320. Oh, God. Dude, it's making 52-week highs. I mean, it's got a 1.48% dividend. It's just an exchange-traded fund, so it's just the oil services. I don't think FinViz tells me. I'd have to look at, let's see, OIH components. Schlumberger, Halliburton. I mean, they're all, those top 2 are just, even Rig. The top 2, though, SLB and SLB, here. This one's at a 52-week, I think, high, too. I mean, look at that chart. And this one still has room to go, I think. But, yeah, you're above your 52-week high. And then HAL. HAL just had a cross-up. In fact, I said, I don't know if you really want to invest in this one because it's run too much. It's got the ascending triangle. It's way up there. It did just cross up again. See? Right here. January 5th. And HAL is down 3% from its 52-week high. So I am not out of Mara. In fact, I was going to look at that active trader. But I have a super small position. I mean, I think we're talking, I'm down to $200 in Mara. It's not a lot. It is not a lot at all. I'm waiting for that $6. In fact, I might put in the sell order at $6 because I do think I think Mara at $6 is it's run enough that I'm happy with the profit that I put in. But see, it's kind of getting that button hook that we always talk about here on the 4-hour. The MACD's kind of crossing over. The RSI's at 67. It's pretty well bought. I don't hold on for it, so I might be out of that. OIH, and James, you're talking about OIH. OIH is wacky. OHI, I should say. Or is it OIH? OIH. Here. We'll look at it daily. Because the daily is going to tell you a little bit more about kind of, hey, should we invest in it? Let's take a trend line. And we'll touch 1, 2, 3. And we'll touch 1. We'll touch those 3. So do I think it's got more room to run? I do. You're up at 356 here. Look at the movement when you had it run from this low RSI, which is 30, down to the high RSI, which is 76. That's where it touched its last 52-week high. I mean, it clearly has some tops here. Look at this. Boom. Look at the tops that it's putting in. I mean, those tops right there tells me that there's some resistance at this level. But you can see there were tops here at this level. Oh, let's, if we just boom. There were tops here at that level. So, I don't think you're going to 400. I just don't think you're going to 400. But, at its 52-week high, I'm leery without some assumption. Here, let's look at the XLE. Because I think do you have more room to run in that one? Probably. Just because the XLE, here we'll pull up the XLE. Just because energy hasn't topped. Oh, XLE. It hasn't necessarily topped out. The 52-week high, you're 5% below your 52-week high. Here's the thing. You're 5% below your 52-week high, but oil is still only $70 per barrel. So something's got to give. So either these oil stocks have to come down, or oil has to go up in price. One or the other. And we know that there's a supply issue out there for oil. So I'm not 100%, hey, I'm going to invest in these because they're actually at their high. But you can see here, look at where it got you in at the XLE, 87. And it's just run from there. But your 52-week high is up here around 94. So I don't know that you necessarily get out of any energy stocks. But getting into them might be a little bit pick and choose which ones you want. I think Tom had a bunch of them on Facebook that he put down there. In fact, Arch is one that he likes with BTU. I mean, we talked about BTU with Peabody and coal being, a winner. Coal at 27.54. You're kind of down there, back down there again. You had this crazy run up to 30. You were at $30 just in this period. This period on January 6th, the morning candle, it went up to 30. That's a crazy, crazy candle for this one. But you can see it's got some opportunity in there. Your average win on Peabody, by the way, BTU, is 26%. You win 40% of the time. So I think buying at 27 isn't horrible. But here's the other one. Arch Resources. This is another coal company. And you've had a slide down here below the 52-day. Or I'm sorry, below the 200-day. Now, take a look at that. That MACD, it's crossing back up. So you're going to have probably a morning candle that tells you, hey, 137 might be an opportunity to buy in here. When you look at Arch here, I think it's got a big dividend, if I'm not mistaken. 0.74. But the PEs too. Remember, energy companies want to be at 5, 6. Last year, you were up for 1 year. You were up 68%. Year to date, now you're down 5%. BTU, on the other hand, has a no dividend, 3 and 4, and your performance, you're up 2%. You were up 140% last year. So Arch just crossed up. I think Tom likes Arch. Arch is an opportunity in my mind. I mean, just look at that disparity. They're thermal coal. June, Jeffries, 160 to 225. You're trading at 137. Implied volatility for Arch Resources, stock options. So November 8th, Arch Resources third quarter revenues beat expectations, earnings per share lag. That's simply Wall Street. It's not hugely covered. Arch Resources reports third quarter 2022 results. Let's see the insider buys. Senior VP General Counsel October 13th sold at 136. I would say that 136 October 13 price, where a bunch of people sold, it wasn't huge sales. I mean, let's be honest. $22,000, $25,000, or is that 25 million? No, it's 25,000. These aren't huge numbers. Those aren't big sales. You're looking at February of last year where they sold at 140 and stuff like that. That's 1.2 million from the senior VP commercial officer. So, yeah, Arch is an interesting one. So, okay, let's talk about CPI. Where is my CPI? I know I had a note on CPI. Where the hell's my note on CPI? Penny? Stop! I gotta mute it. No reason. No reason. Stop. I love you. Come here. Come here. And the market reaction. Stop. You know, Ethereum, here we can, versus the euro. I am not a crypto guy. You guys know I know nothing about crypto. But here in TrendSpider, you can do versus the euro from Binance, from Bitfinance, from Kraken, from Bitstamp, from Coinsbit. You can look at it against the euro. Ethereum versus Ethereum, Deribit. I just don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to look at this stuff. The one thing I can look at is ETHE, which is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Not Bitcoin, but Grayscale Ethereum Trust. This one, see, expand indicator list. Why are my indicators not showing up? Hold on. Let's bring up a stock. Get our indicators back, because the indicators should come in. There we go. This is ETHE. So this is the Grayscale Ethereum Trust. And with the current run, I would say 853 is probably your trading range. You do have a gap down here. I am out of this one. I took a loss in it, so I'm restricted from selling this for 30 days. I can't write off the loss if I trade it within 30 days. But GBTC I can't, but all the other Grayscale, let me see. Grayscale, was it crypto? Grayscale crypto. That should. If we look at all of the Grayscale products, here are all of their funds. There's the symbol, Basic Attention Token Trust, GBAT, BCHG, GBTC, which is the big one. I'm going to explode. But here's all the symbols. The big one is Ethereum, ETHE. There's GBTC. And then there's the Litecoin, LTCN. So you can kind of see their percent day change, holdings per share. So there have been some issues with these, but you can trade them. I just wouldn't own them. That's my take on it. And I say that having been an owner. She found my ice cream bowl. These two are, well, essentially what I can do, Brian, is I will go out of the house. I'll go in the fucking garage for like 5 minutes, and then I'll come back in, and you would have thought I would have been gone for 20 years, and the two of them haven't seen me for 20 years. They're a little bit anxious. They're rescue dogs. So if you guys know rescue dogs, both of them have sorted pasts. Daisy, the dark one that I always hug, she was dumped in a dumpster after having puppies and put in a kill shelter, and she has some PTSD from stuff like that. Penny, the annoying fucker, she was in a hoarder's house with 47 other dogs. So she's a bit crazy. Shopify at 34.32. I'm looking at look at this. Why didn't I get in on this one at 26? You're trading at 32. You guys want to trade your Boyle and stuff like that. I mean, I'll take Roblox all day long. I won't buy it now. I mean, look at that. The RSI is at 67. Let's go over. I'll bring up Roblox. You know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to bring up Verizon, because I think Verizon is an opportunity. I was reading up about AT&T's debt, and I'm not a big fan of AT&T's debt. You still have confirmation on Verizon at 41. The question is, does this 21-day launch it as it sits here prior to earnings? You can see you got your dividend kind of gap down, and now it's just kind of sitting there. If it gets back up to 42, I think you easily move towards this gap at 44. So, but you're on earnings. This is 100% earnings watch. The ones that I think will be interesting. And I finished the Madoff documentary. And I hate to say it, but I feel bad for his family. I don't think his family knew anything, but the people who I really feel bad for are the victims. But Bank of America at $34.75. I mean, it's got all the confirmation in the world heading into their earnings tomorrow morning. JP Morgan is one that, in my mind, if you're going to bet against a bank and buy any kind of puts on earnings, it would be JP Morgan, because I think you're bumping up against a 52-day. 52-week, I mean, let's look. JP Morgan, what's their 52-week range? Now you're 17% down below it. Performance year to date, you're up 4%, which is big for a bank. You got a 2.87% dividend. They might say that the government's going to allow them to pay a bigger dividend or buy more shares back. You could be looking at a good pop in this one. But I like financials. The one that I personally have put some money into, and it's not much. It's not much at all. I bought 10% of my initial lot at $40.50, and I should have bought more. But we're up here at $43.16, Wells Fargo, WFC. So, I still think Microsoft's pushing towards that 250. It's pushing towards that 200-day at 243, 238. Their earnings are coming up next week. Or I'm sorry, a couple weeks, January 24th. So we still haven't touched. Remember, I set up this alert to touch. Oh, it did break through. Oh, I guess I got the alert. Micron, MU. I said if it broke through that 200-day, you could take off. And that was at 55. 54, I think, at the time. 50. Now it's at 56. This is the same as Taiwan Semi. I mean, Taiwan Semi is just a monster. Don't worry, you're going to come back and cover this gap. You're going to cover the gap down to 78. I think you'll get lucky, but I do think you come back down to that 78 level. I think we're moving back. Eggs are so expensive because of bird flu, and it will take one cycle. Essentially, the bird flu wiped out. They had to kill off a lot of chickens, and it's sad. But the bird flu is what happened. They will have a new round of hatchlings that will lay eggs. They are super expensive in your supermarket. But if you find a farmer's market, again, a farmer's market, eggs aren't that expensive. Eggs are $2 a dozen at your farmer's market. Or if you have a friend who knows, who farms, who can get you eggs, that's it. Oh, yeah, let's check on BBBY. Mara's up at 567. Is BBY at... BBBY. Oh, it came down. Wow. It went all the way up to $4.50. God, and it's putting in... Here, let's go over to... I'm looking at BBBY. So the volume spike, let's look at a 5-day. And this is what's interesting. It's a 5-day, 5-minute. So when you look at what I see, let me drag this back a little bit. There we go. So here, this is at 940. Let me just do 5-day again. It should bring it back. There we go. Okay. So look at that spike. Nothing. Volume spike. Nothing. Then you get here and you move from $1.40 to $2. And you got kind of a spike. MACD's going up. RSI completely overbought, and it kind of settles down into opening. And look at the volume on opening here, the volume on opening here. It's similar. Then you get this volume opening spike right here, and which is crazy, crazy amount. And you see it moves from $1.80 up to the day high of about $2.20. But your volume's kind of down. And then in after hours, it's just kind of, the volume's not there, but it's moving up. And then when you open up, boom, it shoots up 320. But then throughout the day, the volume comes down. Now, here in the afternoon, the volume comes back up. After hours, oh my God, we're off to the races. That's the highest volume in after hours that you have. Today, you had a little spike in the after hours, which kind of pushed it up. But look at that spike in volume. So you've got little spike, big spike, another big spike, and just an enormous spike. Now, the question is, do we get that spike again tomorrow on open? It'll be an interesting kind of look. I'm kind of looking. Let's see. There we go. So this 5-minute chart kind of tells me, see the volume spike yesterday and then the volume spike today, but you don't have any volume. The volume's essentially going down. Everything was at the open. Your VWAP is at $4.56, $4.05. You're trading at $3.92. Your day range is $3.64 to $4.50. I wouldn't touch it, but yeah, it's because of Joe. It's the short. I think you've got as much as the short interest is 32.56. That's from December. I think that has risen probably to 50%. And if you've got 50% of the people trying to get out of their short position because they thought it was going to go bankrupt and they didn't short it down at $1, and all of a sudden you have all these people just holding this thing and just saying, we ain't getting rid of this, then boom. Let me see. I'm going to do an indices check to see where I'm at against the indexes. I think I'm down today, though. I am down 0.31%, but the indexes are just flat. So, okay. I'm going to do the podcast just with what I've got. Let's look at SPY. Yeah, so Joe, they don't learn their lesson. There's and you don't know. People could be shorting this at $10. They could be shorting at $6. The problem is, as a lot of people add to their shorts, as a lot of people put their the options play on this, then it kind of drives the price. And if they can't buy that stock, and they're trying to, as more people add to the buys, and they can't fill those orders, more people tend to hold on. The biggest winner in the core portfolio is by far Taiwan Semi. Okay, let me do this. I'm going to do the podcast. Good afternoon, because it is 11:52 on Thursday, January 12th. We got our CPI data. I am going to go over this super quick because the news is out there, but CPI data came in line. Nothing surprising. The market reaction is, we don't know what's going to go on, because it came right in line. So is the Fed going to raise rates? Is the Fed going to halt rates? I can guarantee you at the next Fed meeting, it's either going to be a 25 or a 50-point increase. That's essentially where the odds in Vegas are. And I say Vegas, but it's not really in Vegas. But that's where they think it's going to go. The Fed funds rate is what's driving this. The markets are super, super flat today. There are some big movers, which we'll talk about, but it's super, super flat today. There's not a lot to necessarily go over, but I'm going to do my best to try and give you some ideas. One of the questions that came from, who was it? I didn't write it down, but in our private Facebook group, somebody asked about TQQQ. And where would you go with TQQQ? Well, TQQQ there's a significant differentiation between TQQQ and QQQ. And as an investor versus a trader, you have to know this. TQQQ trades options in order for it to be triple levered. It's an ultra pro QQQ. So it trades options. It is a decaying asset. Because it trades assets, it decays in value. It does not invest in the companies. This is not you holding an actual stock versus QQQ. The way QQQ actually works is it invests in those stocks in the NASDAQ 100. So if you buy QQQ, you're actually investing. If you buy TQQQ, you're trading. So you don't want to hold on to TQQQ. My guidance has always been under 20, buy it. Over 20, sell it. It seems to, over the past, I'd say 6 months or so, well, I shouldn't even say that. Over the past month, since October, 20 has been, and I'm showing the chart right now. If I draw this line right at 20, let's go to $20 right here. I'm going to try and make it as close as possible. It is, there you go. That's 20. That yellow line right there is 20. Tell me that you shouldn't buy under 20 and sell over 20. Now, today it's at $19.40. It's got confirmation above the 9-day. I think you're still good. If you bought in at 16 and you're waiting for it to get to 20, and as we get to tomorrow, and tomorrow is a big, big earnings day. Remember, the banks report tomorrow. There's some other ones that report tomorrow. Taiwan Semi reported this morning or overnight, really in Taiwan hours. But if you're waiting for this to get to 20, tomorrow could be a big mover up or down. If you've got some profits in this one, I'd probably take it just because I think you're safer. If you've bought somewhere at like 22 and you're holding it and you're thinking, oh, it's going to come up to 22, I'd probably hold it into tomorrow because, if you're willing to ride it all the way down to 16, it might just go back down there. There is a gap between 1830 and 1862. So I will forewarn you that any bad news tomorrow may bring that stock back down to $18.84 to $18. That gap will need to be filled at some point in time, and it's just a matter of going down. The 200-day is sitting right at 22, so if you hit 22, I wouldn't chance it. I'd probably just take your profits. But there's your kind of look at TQQQ, whoever asked me. Gavin asked me to look at AEHR, which is Aehr Test Systems. I don't know anything about this stock. The chart looks amazing. It's probably getting you in a little late here because let's look at some of the fundamentals of this one. They have a PE of 86 right now. Super, super expensive. Performance year to date, we are 12 days in and you are up 40%. This one seems to have hit some type of wall. New data center chips could mean massive growth for one tiny semiconductor company. I think this one makes actually equipment for the semiconductor companies, and they've had a pretty good run of late. Earnings per share this year expected for 493%. Just realize that PE of 86 is super expensive. Chart-wise, there's no monkeys covering this one, so there's no real price targets. December 1st, the director, Laura Oliphant, sold some, but it's like, $93,000, $51,000. The last big sale was the president and CEO, Erickson Gain, sold at $25.90, 1.8 million shares. You're above that price right now. From a chart perspective, the algorithm got you in at 23.21. It's currently gotten you in there. There is a bit of a button hook happening. If you're in at 23 or below, I would say kind of watch that button hook. If we break that 9-day, I think you could be looking at a lower rate. Now, here's what you have to know. Over 1,000 candles, the algorithm makes you 1,040%. Buying and holding makes you 1,217%. You had 27 positions within those 1,000 candles. 44% were wins. Your average win is 42%. This is a good example of where my algorithm underperforms in a stock that's in a bull run. This one is obviously in a huge bull run here, all the way from June of last year where it got down to like $7. You're in an enormous bull run. The algorithm is going to underperform, and the reason it's going to underperform is because if you're holding at $7 down here, then you've pretty much almost 5 times your money. But you haven't quite gotten that with the algorithm. Look, you doubled your money here, and then you got out, and then you lost 6% on the next trade. But if you were holding there, you could have probably gotten in for 30%, 40%. So you might, again, when you read these charts, hindsight is 20/20, and God, you can't play this perfectly because I guarantee you would have gotten into 1480, and 1480, you would have doubled your money again. So 200% just in that one run. This is a super, super volatile stock. Do I think it's continuing? We look, and your 52-week high is $29.99. You're 8.22% below that. With that PE, I would be a little bit nervous. I'd probably be getting out of this if it was a trade, but you should have identified this as a trade or an actual own. But Gavin, man, God, if you're in this one, kudos to you and high five. It's a great, it looks like a great company. I don't know much about how it's run. I don't know much about it. But when you take a look at it, 5 cents per share earnings back in Q1 of last year. And this year, Q1, they just had their earnings on January 6th. They 3 times their earnings at 16 cents per share. Now, in the middle of the year, July of last year, they had 23 cents per share earnings. So I would probably take a look at the earnings. They're just all over the place. It's a super volatile stock. You can see the MACD on this one. That MACD is super high, and the RSI is at 68. It's got to pull back. It's got to pull back. Those Bollinger Bands are too big. And with this gap down here all the way down at 20, I think if you could get in at $20.97, I think you take it. Even though it's expensive, I think you take it at that point because I do think this one has shown the proclivity to end up higher. James tells me he wants me to look at VRTV, which is Vertiv Corporation. Let's look at this chart. This chart's ugly with gaps all over the place, but I do like the setup right now. I would have liked the setup if I could have gotten it at 117. Today it's trading at 125. January 11th, it got in at 117. You've gone up. The gap here is between 109 and 114, but it's below the 200-day, so it's going to be less likely to be a catalyst a magnet. You are trading at the top of your Bollinger Bands at 125. The 52-week VRTV, let's see. You are 21% below your 52-week high, which is 161. Your PE is 5. Your forward PE is 7. Your dividend is 2%. I think I like this stock. I like the setup right now because it's kind of huddling. It's hugging the 200-day. And it's shown that every time it crosses the 200-day, it's kind of got almost a run in it. It just came down. I think if you were holding this at about 100, I think 125. In my guess, these kind of tops up here at 151. I think that could be where you're going in a good market. Would I be upset at you if you bought this one at about 120 and just kind of held it? No. I think that, again, with that low PE, they're an industrial company, business and equipment and supplies. There's some news on this one. Let's see. The only insider trading was from March of 2022, and that was one of the directors bought 1,600 shares at $126, $202,000. With that small of a company, I don't think it's a bad buy. Performance 1 year, you're up 14%. In a year where we saw the S&P go down, I think 19% or something. Let's look at 1 year on SPY. 1 year on SPY, you're down 15%. This one was up 14%. I like it. I like a lot. KBH is KB Homes, and they announced their earnings. They beat on an average home price. So their average home price was up, which was expected, but they missed on the amount of homes that they sold. Their revenue missed, and their guidance was light. This one was hurt in pre-market. It does have a green candle on it today in the morning candle. It's a 1.13%. It opened at 34.49. It's currently at 34.88. So it's kind of gone up a little bit. Again, any market reaction is an overreaction, but the prior candle, it was at it closed at 35.95. So I think, again, this one's coming down. It wasn't horrible. It just wasn't great. And we're seeing kind of in the CPI data too that home prices are just, they're not doing well. I mean, interest rates are taking effect and it's hurting and it's softening the economy. And that's what you've got to look at. Even with all these earnings, they could come out with soft guidance. Taiwan Semiconductor said off to the races. That's why you're seeing it up, 8% today? Taiwan Semiconductor is up 7.57% right now. So that's why you're seeing it, because they said, hey, we're going to have enough chips for Ford. We're going to have enough chips for GM, which, by the way, is not good for Tesla. Tesla is down 1.83%. It's not able to hold on to those gains. And it's just kind of coming back down to the 115 mark. So KB Homes wasn't probably my best opportunity, but I don't think you're hurt by holding that one, because if we look at KBH here, from a long-term perspective, I think this was just a pullback. So if you got into this one at the price that I had kind of said earlier, it was a huge run. I mean, the buy-in was at 31.43 way back in November 10th. We didn't have a big catalyst on this one. I didn't bring it up, but if you're following on the algorithm, then yeah, you've had a good run on this. Even at 34, you're up 10%. If we look at the weekly on this one, you're just touching the 200-day. And you can see regularly, other than COVID, it trades above the 200-day. So even if you bought into this one for its earnings, just hold on to it. It's a good company. And I don't think that we're looking at a huge downturn in housing. I just don't. Ones that were up yesterday were some solar stocks. Sedge, Solar Edge. SEDG. I don't know why I put SDGE. SEDGE. This one is SEDG. This is one that I trade regularly. I know I brought this up earlier. 293.21 on January 10th. You're at 306 right now. So you're close to a 10% gain. You just got out with a 25% gain. The algorithm, here's an interesting one. The algorithm loses you 8% on this. Buying and holding for 1,000 candles loses you 8%. You have 31 positions. You win 42% of the time. The average win is 10%. So if you're getting 10% on this, wait until confirmation is broken. Then maybe just take out your 10%. If you lose on this one, it'll come back. It's a super expensive stock. Let's get that out of the way. Super expensive. The PE is 148. Forward PE is 35. Last year, this was up 18% in 1 year. Performance year to date, just 12 days in, up 6%. So it's super expensive. Another one that I brought up was Enphase. And this one was up yesterday as well. Enphase, the algorithm has you buying in at 240.20. Currently, it's at 240.03. This one had a good day. Well, I guess it was a couple of days ago, but Enphase is up is right at 240. You got their earnings coming up on February 7th. This MACD is super, super low. It's crossing up. The RSI is at 35. The problem that you have with this, again, super, super expensive. Hold on, Penny, do not yell. Sorry, I'm yelling at my dog. But you've got this ascending triangle here on the daily, and you've broken it, and you've come below the 200-day. Every time you've come below the 200-day, you go back above the 200-day. Doesn't mean that this one isn't going to completely fall out. I just don't expect it to. You can see there's a clear volume shelf here at 214. So you still do have quite a bit down if you don't bounce back up. End phase, we can look at the PE. Remember, Solar Edge is at 148, the PE. This one's at 116. So I'd rather see you in this one than Solar Edge. But I think either one, you just hold on until it gets above the 200-day on the weekly. So I think you're fine on that one. And did I wake up? I posted something. Did I wake up in 2021? Because AMC went on a roll yesterday. Bed Bath & Beyond went on a roll yesterday. Peloton went on a roll yesterday. AMC is currently trading at $4.99. The algorithm had you buy in at $4.14. It is covering this gap. This gap right here at $5.21, it covered. Because today's candle, let me see. Today's candle, the high was $5.35. So you've covered that gap. The only other place you have to go is to the 200-day, which is in a downward trending spot, and it's at 704. I wouldn't expect it. The RSI has quickly gotten to overbought at 63. So I wouldn't expect continued pop on this one. Bed Bath & Beyond, on the other hand, is just out of control. And I went over on YouTube Live some of the volume spikes that we saw. Now, the algorithm got you in here at 263. This is simply a short squeeze. This is basically people who shorted the stock trying to get out of the stock and the people who bought the stock not willing to sell. Right now, you're at 413. Today's high was $4.50. So you're down from the highs. The RSI is at 74. This is so overbought. I wouldn't put you into this one. But if you wanted to trade this one and take a chance, buy a couple of shares of it. Again, it might cost you $10. Big deal. But you might have some fun while you're doing it. Peloton has been on an absolute tear. 872 on January 4th. I personally I don't get why this one's going up. But there is a gap here that is in play up to 13.14. And it's possible, I mean, in December, you got way up to 13. It's possible this one's going up there. I wouldn't expect it to. And again, I don't think you're making money on this one. Let me see. Do they have a P? No, they don't have a PE. They're losing money. Year to date, though, we're 12 days in. This one's up 36%. 1 year, you're losing 70%. 52-week highs doesn't matter on this one. You just know that you're losing money. It's in a turnaround. The RSI is at 68. I probably wouldn't get into this one just because it's had its run. Paulie wants me to look at AE, which is Adams Resources. Something's going on with this one. I don't exactly know, but I told him I would look. And is it too late to get in here? So AE is an oil and gas company. It's got a 2% dividend. Its PE is 15, forward PE of 10. Year to date, it's up 20%. 1 year, it's up 60%. 52-week high is 48.50. It's trading at 49.20 right now. So I don't exactly know what's going on. Here's what could happen. Help Adams Resources maintain its recent price strength. It's a bunch of Zacks. Adams Resources and Energy Inc. announced participation in Singular Research Best of Uncovered Conference in San Francisco. I don't know. It's a micro cap. Sometimes you have this with micro caps. Is it too late to get into this? I'd hate to tell you it's too late to get into it, but you've got an ascending triangle. You're trading outside the Bollinger Bands. There's no reason to think that it could go high, but I said that last night when it was trading at 40, 44. I don't know what's going on with it. Let's look at the volume, though. If we look at the AE volume in Active Trader Pro, 10-day volume is at 18,000. 90-day volume is at 16,000. You're trading at 48.79. It is a micro cap. Realize here what you have. The problem that you have with micro caps is if you get into this and say, for instance, you buy 1,000 shares, you want to put $48,000 into this, or you want to put 100 shares and buy like almost $5,000 of this. Selling that will be difficult because it just doesn't trade that many shares. So selling it will be difficult. Would I rather see you in this one or like something like CVX, which just had a cross up? I'd rather see you in a major oil supplier or even OIH, I think it is. We were looking at OIH, which is the Van Eyck Oil Services, which has Schlumberger and Halliburton as its main holdings. It just had a cross up here at 304 back on January 6th. And you're 5 days later and you're at 329. You almost have your 10%. And I think it's got more room to run. I'd rather see you in a Halliburton, which is a little bit, I think, softer than Schlumberger. Schlumberger has run up a little bit much. But if you wanted to get into Halliburton at 42.60, you've got all the confirmation in the world. The problem is the RSI is at 73. I don't think it's good to get in here before earnings, but I do tend to think that there's going to be a pop in this. But yeah, AE, something's going on there. I don't know what it is. It's a micro cap, Paulie. It is crazy. The fact that it's a micro cap scares me. I've been in enough micro caps and have gotten my ass handed to me on micro caps that I just probably stay out of it. Remember when I told you that I thought Delta at 32 was probably a good buy and could go to 40? Well, there's one other one here. American Airlines. We had a buy-in at $12, $12.62 here on December 23rd. And they announced today they are increasing the guidance for their earnings. They pre-announced. They're coming out January 20th. But they said, we're doing so well, we have to let the street know. And it wasn't a minor upgrade either. They doubled their guidance. Essentially, their earnings per share went from like 69, 70 cents up to like $1.40. It's going to report next week. Their stock currently is at 16.29. Let me see in what's the percentage today? Because I think it's like 5, 6, 7%. It's 6.26%, trading at $16.30. It is not super expensive when you look at it. AAL, they're not making money, but that's just because airlines never make money. But their forward PE is 10. They could announce that they're actually making a profit. UAL is way up as well. This one is up 4% in trading today. And we can look at Delta. And the forward PE on UAL, by the way, is 8. Delta's PE is 334. It is super, super expensive. But that's just because these airlines just don't make money. Year to date, it's up 16%. But remember when I told you about, you can look at UAL before we get to Delta, because I haven't brought UAL or AAL up, but airlines have been doing really well. Look at UAL. United Airlines. 38.16 on December 23rd. You're at 50. You're at 50. It's a $12 gain on a $36 stock. Delta at 32. I kind of have said, hey, this is a $40 stock in a good market. It's at 38 right now. And we had a buy-in at 32, 20%. And your earnings are coming up, I think, tomorrow before the bell, because Ed Bastian, who's their CEO, is on in the morning on CNBC. But yeah, you've got this one has been just unbelievable. Another one that I wanted to toot my own horn on that I didn't personally buy, but Roblox. I said, Roblox at 26. I think it's got room to go up to 30 at least. It's at 33. I think you're heading into this $35 200 day. I think it's going to cross that 200 day. I think it wants to get to this gap here between 37 and 38. But I don't think it's going to get there. And I would be surprised if in this run it actually gets to 35. Starting to see the button hook. The MACD is above the oscillator. That RSI is moving down at 68. So I kind of see this one as having had its run. But do I think that it could get to 45? I mean, it was just at 45 October 28th. And nothing in the world has changed from October till now. Other than these guys announced that, hey, we have some user loss, but they're seeing users return back. Another one that I talked about that was a great one that I should have bought myself, Verizon. We've talked about Verizon all the way from a $37 price on December 21st. It is now at 41. I would not buy into this huge dividend. Dividend was paid on January 9th. Their earnings are coming up next week, January 23rd after the bell. I think they're going to announce some pretty good earnings. I mean, honestly, as long as they don't announce that people aren't paying their bills, I think that's perfect. So let's go over some scans here. Scans, one of Tom's favorites, Arch, which is a coal company, which we were looking on YouTube at Arch versus BTU. Arch has a cross-up. Now, it doesn't signal here, but it just got you out with a 5% loss, and the last 4 trades have been losses. The algorithm makes you 11% on this over 1,000 candles. Over 1,000 candles, if you were to buy, it would be 168%. Coal has been that good over the past 2 years, 168%. You have 27 positions, 41% of those are wins over 1,000 candles. So you're almost at a 50-50 chance. Your average win, though, is 9%, 9.99%, so about a 10%. That's what we look for, is some volatility. So because these are down and it's under its 200-day, I wouldn't be surprised if this one goes back above its 200-day and gets back to 164 and covers this gap. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. But it did have a cross-up. That's one. There's another cross-up that I think is just too high, and that's Chevron, CVX. It just got you out with a 0.78% gain, so it's not a huge gain at 170. I would rather see this one bought under 170. 177 is the price that it's trading at right now. I just think that's too high. Personally, I think that's too high. The earnings are coming up on January 26th. I personally own Exxon, which didn't have a cross-up, but has been doing well. I sold some Exxon at, I think, 110. It's at 113 right now. Still has confirmation. I sold it because I needed to take some gains against some losses at the end of the year. I probably should just get back into this one. But CVX had that one. And the final one that has a cross-up is Fiserv, FISV. And Fiserv, it's a secondary cross-up. The cross-up here initially was at 100.28. And this came from the ARK funds. It does have a PE of 31, so it's expensive. It's technology. Information Technology Services, Fiserv, together with its subsidiaries, provides payment and financial services technology worldwide. The company operates through acceptance, fintech, and payment segments. The acceptance segment provides point-of-sale merchants acquiring digital commerce services. So Fiserv is a technology company in the payment space. Year to date, it's only up 0.46. 52-week range, you're close to it. 110 is the 52-week high. And the PE is 31. Forward PE is 13. Their earnings are coming up on February 6th. So I saw this one as kind of a middle of the road. It's not your normal ARK fund because it's making money. It's just the PE is a little expensive. If I had to pick one stock to buy today, I honest to God, I think it's enph, ENPH, which has kind of just gone through this beating. It does have a recent cross up at 240.20 as of yesterday. I think that MACD is going to come back up. Do I think you could get to 260 on this one? That might be a bit of a move. 260 is what you'd need to kind of get to almost 10%. But I do think that end phase is one here. I think I'd rather see it at 200 for you to absolutely 100% buy it. But I think it's clear when it goes under the 200 day, just kind of comes back, just goes back to the 200 day. And I don't think that there's anything in solar technology that's going to quote unquote weaken. I think the subsidies that the government's paying for solar, I think those are a boost to this one. So there you go. There is your half hour. I didn't think there was going to be a show today, but I got it in. I am ready to pick up my car here in the next couple of hours. So if you have any questions, I'm going to be on YouTube. Just hit me up on the socials. And remember, there's links down below to buy TrendSpider. If you made it this far, please rate the podcast. Just go up there, hit the 5 stars. It's like pulling teeth with some of you people. It's so easy to hit the 5 stars. I am going to do a video as to how to use this podcast and the YouTube Live to try and make money in your trades. I think some of the people who have gotten TrendSpider have been doing actually really well. I think some of the people who watch me on YouTube have understood a little bit more about charts, how to read them, how to look at them, how to use the moving averages, how to use the MACD, how to use the RSI. I'll do a video kind of, okay, if you listen to this in your car, how are you supposed to use this? And how are you supposed to use these dollar amounts? And how are you supposed to understand the moving averages? And how should I get out of the car and move from listening to this to actually getting into investing and getting into trading? So I'm going to do that video. Just realize I'm lazy as F. So, okay. If you have any questions, hit me up. So, okay, share. Export song to disk. Export. Boom. Yeah, I think it was Jackie. CLF at 13 was one of the best buys I think we could have gotten. We're getting into afternoon candles too. 1:30 is the afternoon candles on TrendSpider. But imagine seeing Cleveland Cliffs. Here's the problem with Cleveland Cliffs, and this is why I get so scared of Cleveland Cliffs, is because what's changed in the economy since pre-COVID. And if I look at pre-COVID and I drag this trend line out here, and I just say, okay, this is kind of, I mean, if we just go 3 points, that's kind of where you should be. Kind of. And so it worries me that that's at 13, but should be clear, 13 is your floor at this point, and I don't think you're ever getting back down there. Especially with the current earnings coming up and stuff like that. But I like Cleveland Cliffs. VRTV is a good one. Just I think you have to, let me see the volume each day. Yeah, it's a micro cap. You're going to have problems probably getting the price for it and then selling it unless you buy and sell market. And I hate buying and selling market, James. I hate it. I always do limit because I think you're giving money away if you buy market. But in micro caps, you probably have to buy market. You just have to. Because it's hard. Understand that with 100,000 shares that are trading, on average in 90 days. That's hard for a brokerage firm to link the buyer and seller. China is coming back. They're going to loosen up their restrictions and they'll be completely back. I'm semi-skeptical of China in the fact that I sold my BABA for such a big loss. And I'd hate to get back into something and trigger some type of audit from the IRS. So I'll wait my 30 days. I'll wait until the end of February to get back in. This is an interesting one that I've traded in the past. Let's take a look. MFA. I've got it on my watch list, and it just came up with an alert on Active Trader Pro. Over the past 30 minutes, MFA has experienced a volume spike of 207,000 shares. Historically, this is higher than the 99% of all 30-minute volume observations around this time of day. MFA is a mortgage servicing company. So even if you, oh God, look at that volume spike. What the hell happened here? Hold on, we're going to look here. MFA. Zephyr and Boyle. MFA is losing money. Credit Suites, $12.50 is the price target. So you got 20% in there from the latest. Oh, look at that. December 14th, 35 cents per share. Let's see when the ex-dividend date is. Will be paid on January 31st to common shareholders by December 30th. So you don't have, that's what it is. That was January 10th, January 9th. People selling because they got the ex-dividend. Their earnings are coming up February 21st. It's been a decent move. I mean, here's the thing. You got $7 and you just got out of here 32%. Your average win on this is 6.56%. Nelson name dropped. Dude, Nelson name drops left and right. That dude's all about the name drops. Daisy is due for services. Oh, shit. Okay. Due for services. Somebody signed up for TrendSpider. Yay. I have a new message from the service team. I guess I don't have a new message from the service team. Let me see. Review repair process. Oh, it's all prepping. I don't think they've even brought it in there. Okay. Boy, that sucks. Okay. Sorry. Live. I'm going to live. We're going live, damn it. I think he's going to do well for Disney. Honestly, I think he does well for Disney. Here's Disney. Remember how I said Disney, I think, around below 88 was a good buy? I mean, look at how good of a buy it looks now at 100. Bullard, not enough pricing in markets for upside inflation risk. What does he say?
For the upside risk of inflation. He says there's probably too much optimism. Inflation is going to easily return to 2%. Goes on to say policy.
Oh, he killed the market.
Continue to put downward pressure on inflation.
Oh, no.
On the upside, recession risks have diminished the last 90 days, and the second half.
There he goes. Okay, so Bullard just announced Bullard thinks it's a 50-point base hike next time. He's one of the voting members of the Fed board. So he thinks it's a 50-point basis hike at the next meeting. But he also says there's no risk of recession. Hi, puppy. Sweet. GDXU. What the hell is GDXU? This is one of your gold miners. This is levered. 46 and you're at 58. Gold's been doing well. I mean, look, here's the thing about that you have to know about gold. It ain't going to sit below that 200-day for very long. Commodity prices just spiked back here in April. This was the Ukrainian war commodity soaring. And it just tanked. I mean, people have hated commodities. I don't know that I'd necessarily get back in here because the RSI is at 68. But I think if you get in there at 50, I think you're still safe at 50. So I'm going to move you over to Active Trader Pro. And we're going to look at Zeffen's Boyle. Let's see Boyle. So remember I said VRTV had 100,000 shares traded? Look at something like Boyle. You're trading 21 million shares a day. That's why it's so easy to get market orders in for Boyle and things of that sort. GDXU, I don't think getting in there is a bad idea. I'd rather see you, if you were asking me, hey, should you get in now? I'd say no. If you were asking me, should you get in when it was under the 200-day? I don't care if you got in here. I'd say, hey, put a stop loss on it. But here at 90, I probably would have said, yeah, it's got to come back to the 200-day. Even here at 46, I'd say, yeah, it's got to come back here to the 200-day. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that you're looking at a $120 stock in the gold miners. Remember, this is a levered ETF. So it's going to, lose money. Here, we'll look at the weekly. This one hasn't been around very long. So, but God, look at that gap. Oof. You may be a little overextended on a weekly, but it doesn't have enough for a, I don't know what the hell this gap is. Oh, is it reverse split? Wow, they did reverse split in so soon to their inception. That's not good, by the way. If they just kind of came on the market in 2020, like late 2020, that's what I'm getting. Oh, here. Here's GDXU. This is a daily. And so here you have a reverse split, October 31st, 2022. If they just came on the scene in 2021, kind of, December 2020, say, and you're already doing a reverse split, this shit's levered to the hilt. This shit is levered to the hilt. So while you're going up here on a daily and you have confirmation, I don't know that I'd wait a hell of a long time to hold this. In my mind, I think if you get to that 21 day at 48, I think 48 is your stop loss though, James. Don't stay in this one too long. Remember, it's a levered ETF. They're trading options in order to lever it. So, and I'm going back to Active Trader Pro. Yeah, and gold and silver, I mean, ETFs, remember that all of these things, when you buy them, they're taking fees out. I mean, all these guys are doing is throwing fees in there. I've been approached twice now to open up an ETF. And I don't even want to tell you how much the folks are offering as far as fees. I mean, think about it. A hedge fund typically takes 2% of whatever you're managing for them. Bernie Madoff didn't even take anything. I'm going to do a new episode. Uploading the podcast. 112. And then I'm going to go have some lunch. Let's see. What transition are we going to do today? I'm going to go down to the bottom again because I like the bottom where we were. I like that one. We're putting that one in. We're going to put an ad. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm sponsored by State Farm. Where's Jake? Where's Jake? I'm sponsored by State Farm. I'm going to quit GarageBand. Same. Let's look at Baba. Just for shits and giggles. Wow, SPY is looking to touch 400. We just took off. Indices check. Let's see. Log in. I'm up 0.44%. By the way, year to date, I'm up 3.15%. Pretty happy about it. Next, it'll be vapes. Man, OIH is not meant to be traded. You can, but this thing is, I mean, it is breaking out. See? I mean, you're up 4% today. But, I mean, think about the companies that make it up. It's SLB, you're up 4%, and HAL, Halliburton, you're up 4%. And this one's kind of leveled off. I think it's just energy. I think energy is doing well today. Here, let's go over. I'm going to bring you back to Safari, and we're going to go to FinViz. And let's take a look. If you want to see what sectors are doing well, look at this. Where's your big green? My eyes immediately went over here to energy. Look at your oil and gas. Oil and gas EQ. This is equipment and services. SLB. HAL. BKR. You know, you look over here, and this is oil and gas. COP up 1.85. PXD up 2.92. The big boy is EQT and APA. You know, you look down here, oil and gas midstream. This is where I think NFLX comes in. But what's DRN? Is DRN? DRN's the that's the housing. DRN and DRV, I kind of live and die by the algorithm. And the only reason I say that is DRN, and this is a real estate bull. This is levered 3 times. DRN in the algorithm over 1,000 candles makes you 100%. If you would have just bought and held, you'd lose 3%. Your average win is 15%. Look at this one. It got you in at like $10. It got you right back out. But let's just say $10. You're almost at 12. It's 20% right there. But DRV is so oversold right now. Look at this one. The RSI is at 32. Doesn't mean that it can't go down from here because it's not putting in any kind of positive realm. I would say DRV right here is going to fill this gap down to 40. So you still have 10% down. I think DRV down here. You still have 10% down. DRN, do I think that we have 10% up? That's a tougher one. I mean, you've broken this 200-day right here at 11. You've got this gap at 15. Just because one's down 10% doesn't mean the other one can't be down, 20% or up 20%. But I kind of live and die by those that algorithm for that. Wow. Morgan Stanley just put a price target of Cleveland Cliffs at $26. Wow. What am I going to title this one? It's got to be CPI. Let's put in CPI data and $12. Update. I've got to. CPI, I kind of titled the thing. I should title it. Let's see. I'm going to title it. I'm going to say, should you buy it? I'm going to label it TQQQ. So let's see. We're going to put in this. So now that I got 13 people in here and nobody answered me before, do I sell shit too much? That's the question. I had a review yesterday that they are stopping listening because I try and sell TrendSpider and Fidelity too much, and that I should listen back to. Oh, holy shit! Boeing is up $6. That I should listen back to the episode from yesterday that I just went on and on about buying TrendSpider. I listened back. I didn't think I did. That's my take on it. But again, I am open to any suggestions because I don't think. Yeah, and that's kind of what I said. I said, the person who said this said that I was dissing Jim Cramer for the same thing that I was doing. And I said, no, the difference between me and Jim Cramer educating is I'm not going to give you, hey, this is the stock to buy, this is it. I'm basically selling you a tool. I'm not selling you a text service with the price. I'm selling you a tool. So, but, and I will also say you guys are completely biased. I appreciate your feedback, but you guys are the diehard degenerates who would be on YouTube all day with me if I was on here all day, I think. Yeah, Al, that's kind of, I kind of say, hey, if you don't want to listen to the full hour, don't listen to the full hour. But I think you can get a lot out of what I'm giving because I don't feel like I fall in love with a stock other than Apple. I go over Apple a lot. but I don't feel like I fall in love with stock. I give you guys kind of the moves that I make. I don't say you should. Like Mara, just a gamble. Yeah, do I even vape, bro? Yeah, Marathon was just a Mara was just a gamble. I mean, Mara was essentially just like freaking Bed Bath and Beyond, which, by the way, let's put that up. God, it's got more confirmation, man. Holy crap! I'm telling you, this could go to 12. Okay, let me just put this in. KBH. TSM, AE for Poly. CPI data, TQQQ scans. I'm not going to put in CPI there. Okay. And I'm going to go grab. I'm showing it, Brandon, but be careful. There are children around. Okay, let's see. Yeah, they said I pushed Fidelity too much. And I appreciate feedback, and I think this particular person gives me very honest feedback. And by the way, the person who gives me this feedback is a day oneer. So I do appreciate them telling me things. I'm just not 100% certain that it's an objective view. They say they have tried to get other people to listen to me, and that the people that listen to me say I'm just shilling and selling something, and they couldn't listen. But I actually don't think that I sell too much. And if somebody thinks that I'm selling too much, they obviously just haven't. They're probably better off with Jim Cramer if they think I sell too much. We'll just put it that way. Roblox, Verizon. Let me look, and we're going to put in Tesla. We'll put in SQQQ. We'll put in QQQ. We'll put in SPY. SOXL. Amazon. Amazon's just a killer. AAL I already have. AMD. SOXS. LambU. And that's it. But you like the stock. Yeah, I do. I like the stock. Thanks, Christian. Yeah. And Larry, you know, if you've sold stock, or you've sold, or you're part of an ETF or a managed, what are they called? Family practices. Yeah. Yeah, and even with okay, episodes. Should you buy it? I've gotten the podcast down to about a half hour now, but that's because I'm spending a shit ton of time with you guys on YouTube too, and I don't feel like I'm shorting anybody. Okay, I'm gonna get off here at 1:00 though. It was funny. My Uber driver, we were talking politics. Nice guy, older guy from Chicago. Not an Obama fan. Probably believed a lot like me, politically. But we were talking about Hunter Biden. And how I have so much sympathy for Hunter Biden being an addict. I think that nobody should ever make fun of an addict, or nobody should be critical of an addict. But I also realized that Hunter Biden, even in sober moments, has leveraged that family name. The question is whether his dad knows about it or not. I don't believe that his dad knows about it. I believe that he has done some things that are shady, and his dad probably hasn't held him to task. UDN is a good play. Let's see. Let's go back over to Safari. UDN. I don't even know what it is. Bearish ETF. This is the US dollar. It's hard to say. I mean, that run up right now is crazy. You can see. You're killing me, James. They're not. I mean, it's above the 9-day. On a 5-minute chart, it's above the 9-day. Let's look at the 1-minute chart. You have all the confirmation in the world on Bed Bath & Beyond. Honestly, holy fuck, Mara. Oh, look at Mara. I mean, hold on. I'm getting you back over here. So Bed Bath & Beyond, before I move to Mara, this is a 10-minute chart. I mean, you've got both 5-minute, 1-minute, 5-minute, and 10-minute confirmation. So buying at 420, I don't think it's crazy. In fact, you know what? Where's my Webull account? Where's my Webull account? My post last night was liked for the first time on Webull. Let's look up. I don't even know how to work this. Okay, where do I? Oh, there we go. Okay, BBBY. There we go. Trade. See, and that's what's crazy is I'm gonna put this in at 407, and I'm gonna buy 20 shares. modify order. I'm going to, not 407. I'm going to do 418. Confirm. There we go. Okay. I just bought it 418, and the reason I bought it 418 was because it's right in the middle between 410 and 425, 429. Just put it in at 418. Let's see if it but it's only like 5 shares. Now we're going to look at this one because we're going to look at a 5-minute chart. And you're outside the Bollinger Bands. Holy F. Mara's on a run. I mean, it's outside the Bollinger Bands. Something's going on with Mara. Because it started down here at what time? 12:15. I mean, within an hour, you go from 550. You go up almost $1, almost 20% in an hour. Something's going on. And I don't think Bitcoin has been flying. But my Bed Bath & Beyond, let me see. Where's my Weeble? No. Cancel. Let me see. I don't even know how to orders. Where's my Bed Bath & Beyond? Because it hasn't filled yet at 418. Maybe I'm going to modify this to 420. I'm going to chase. Wow, it's already at 420. Let's put it at 423. Confirm. Order filled. I am an official owner of Bed Bath & Beyond right now. You're welcome, degenerates. I should post that out there. But I just don't know how much further it has to go. But Mara, on the other hand, I mean, look at the current candle of Mara. It's just inside the Bollinger Band, so it hasn't really gotten while it's exploding up, and it's got to come down because the RSI is at 81. Hey, by the way, I think I changed my output to stream in 1080p from 720. By the way, if anybody, so I think I put $1,000 into my Weeble account. I think it was late December. Because it was when I got back. It was right before Christmas, but it was definitely late December. Current value of my Weeble account is $1,100. Just so you're aware. I need to call my parents and tell them I bought into Bed Bath & Beyond. Who can I tell? Hold on. I have some texts. um, by the way, Bed Bath & Beyond is still in an upward trajectory. A couple minutes, I'm up 2%. But I'm in a PDT rule account because I only have $1,000. So, okay, it's 1 o'clock. I am out, guys. I will see you tomorrow morning. I will have an update on my. I hope this comes out in 1080p. I'm gonna check it on YouTube later because I did change the stream. And at some point, I'm gonna have a scroll down here with the top, the core portfolio kind of scrolling. I don't think it's gonna have live prices, but I think we'll put a scroll in there with the portfolio plays and ones that I'm looking at and things of that sort. So, okay.